The most ironic line of dialogue I've ever heard in a show in my entire life, no hyperbole, without exaggeration, is when Kim K. Kardashian opens up Ryan Murphy's new show All's Fair, a show about divorce law and women, by saying, and I quote,
They don't care. They don't take divorce law or women seriously.
incredible, because neither does this show.
There it went, and the rest is history.
Now, when Taylor Swift wrote the line, "Did you girl boss too close to the sun?" I thought it was one of the worst lyrics Taylor Swift had ever written. It was an outdated, slang, buzzword phrase that peaked in popularity a decade ago, a phrase that became an irony-boiled meme almost as soon as it was introduced. A phrase that, when used unironically, is an admission that you are out of touch with the greater culture. When considering the fact that she's a billionaire, the fact does check out. I thought, oh no, the magic, she's lost it. Who will I listen to the next time I get my heart broken over someone who I know is bad for me and who I also know I'm bad for as well? I don't know, Billie Eilish, maybe SZA, probably Halsey. I've got options. It drove me mad. Who was this lyric meant to appeal to? Personalities that were long dead? Does she experience time in a non-linear fashion? Was she making her album for people in the past? Now that's a concept I can get behind. Or a concept that me from 10 years ago can get behind? Whatever, it doesn't matter. It turns out I'm a fool. This lyric is profound and prescient. I have to apologize because my initial thoughts were wrong. Taylor Swift saw what I could not. Ryan Murphy would go on to create a critical failure on a cosmic scale entitled All's Fair, in which he does, in fact, girl boss a little too close to the sun. There's no other appropriate word or phrase able to define it. Thank you, Taylor. I guess you really do deserve to suck up all the money and carbon emissions and leave us with nothing. Please note, before we get to the juicy stuff, most of this is in lighthearted jest, though a lot of my criticism does bear weight under scrutiny. It might be over-the-top criticism, but it's not nonsensical criticism, and I'm not trying to cancel All's Fair, by the way. I'm pretty sure All's Fair will get canceled by the merit of its own hard work. All's Fair is the new show by Ryan Murphy, who, much like a fast food restaurant, generates a lot of trash at an almost constant pace, some of which I begrudgingly enjoy, even though I'm sure it's really bad for me. All's Fair, streaming on Hulu, is not one of those things. It's the McLobster of television shows. For me, no thank you. All's Fair is a show which cosplays as a legal drama, but I'm not sure what's really hiding under the desiccated corpse flesh of its costume, and I don't think I ever will, but at this point, I kind of prefer the mystery. All's Fair follows 4 women who leave their male-dominated law firm to start one of their own so they can punish men and fight misogyny, but after watching it, I'm pretty sure the misogyny was the show we made along the way. I need you to understand, before we go further, I emphasize that the misogyny here is very subtle. This is not groundbreaking journalism exposing how much Ryan Murphy hates women. I don't think he hates women. This is a prolonged quote-unquote comedy skit masquerading as journalism. The misogyny on display here is more like an hour-long microaggression. But you know, these things, they happen. I think a world divorced from any offense is not only impossible, but also exhausting to police. It can also take out the rough edges of life and art that makes it interesting, which is why my criticism is usually more whimsical and less condemning in most of the videos I make. All's Fair seems to present itself as a vehicle for female empowerment, but instead it feels like a disingenuous attempt to come off as something that wants to empower women. All's Fair is the big bad, performative male you've heard so much about, but it's not trying to fuck you in a literal sense, just in a sociological one. All's Fair primarily represents women in one of 2 ways. Number 1, infallible super geniuses capable of coercing men into doing anything they want with their vastly superior intellects and the aggressively dominant force of their wills, always the smartest people in the room and well-dressed and beautiful. Number 2, dumb little drooling, pooping in their pants ass babies who have no idea what's happening to them at any given moment, who are incapable of understanding consequences or how their life choices shape their lives, because they can't make choices, because they're just dumb, little, drooling, eating mashed carrots, pissing on the floor, little stank butt babies. Hopefully between these 2 opposing points, you can already see the conflict here. Now, there is a third bonus variation, aka the villain, who hates other women and wants to see them suffer, but the show does a very bad job of making them seem like the villain when the other women in the show were all dicks to her and abandoned/ostracized her at a genuine point of desperation, all while insulting her character and intelligence with unrealistic abstract abstract parameters like a Drag Race family resemblance judgment.
Never learn to be human or navigate space between what you want and how much you want it.
So, I perceive her shit talking, no matter how demonic, as justified, and the only funny or enjoyable thing about the show, outside of some good fashion choices.
Carb, sweetie, how are you? Never mind me. How are you holding up, you poor discarded cumrag?
And there you have it. Women is seen by all's fair. You're either infantilized, exist in a structure of impossible standards, or if you're actually intelligent and funny and have a genuine personality, you're a monster and a problem and everyone hates you. You know, when I phrase it like that, maybe there's some arguments to be made were this a better show. But alas, I'm doing all's fair way too many favors by taking it more seriously than it pretends to take itself. The show feels like Ryan Murphy wants to dress his human dolls up in cute outfits and make them say funny things. Which isn't bad in and of itself, I guess, but when put against the backdrop of the show's logical sloppiness and lack of grounding in reality, it is, in fact, quite bad. The show is full of very monetarily rich female characters who exist in a world of entitlement and hypocrisy, where if women cheat, it's okay, but when men do it, they should shell out endless money or have their balls mutilated to make it right. They also main character their way out of every legal issue with the flick of a sassy eyebrow raised.
Love and war. You chose war, and we won it.
They're Harry Potter from Harry Potter. They're Ichigo from Bleach. They will always power fantasy their way out of a bad situation. It's important to note that I do think it's possible that offensive things can be good, or at the very least watchable. But the real problem, the logical and emotional depth on display here, it's like a deep-rooted cavity trying to uphold the structure of a tooth, and all this show wants to do is chew on hard candy. All's Fair is like someone took a casual misogynist, not a hateful one, mind you, there is a difference, and then showed said misogynist a distilled, unnuanced video essay on feminism. And instead of becoming a feminist, the misogynist decided to make a show about feminism while failing to learn what feminism actually is. And to be honest, it actually feels like hateful propaganda, like it wants you to hate women. I mean, it almost made me hate women, and I'm at least half a woman on some level. I have the estrogen levels to prove it. That's why your daddy keeps calling my phone. It's also important to note, I'm not trying to virtue signal you. All's Fair is trying to virtue signal you. I'm just casually trying to reason out what I'm seeing here and how it fits into a greater cultural context. In this show, female empowerment seems to exist primarily in the realms of looking hot, being rich, having a shitty attitude, beauty routines, vibrators, and hating men who aren't directly in service of women. In fact, during one conversation, all the four women talk about is their beauty routines and vibrators. Niecy Nash's son just got a full scholarship to MIT, but they don't discuss that in the first conversation they have since she learns the good news. Instead, they discuss the fun new ways in which they try to stay young and how they play with themselves after big, handsome men give them massages.
Formulated from salmon sperm.
Management would like you to review the following 2 footnotes. Number 1, just to be clear, talking about sex, masturbation, and how your oiled up, ripped, hunky masseuse gave you a girl boner is totally acceptable. My male and female friends do it all the time, save the masseuse part. We're all too poor to afford a masseuse. And I'm pretty sure I would pick a masseuse I find unattractive anyway. You know, I'm not trying to pop a tart while I'm getting a shiatsu. The issue is, this conversation feels inauthentic. It feels like the show is using this scene to define these women. Like these are the complicated, nuanced thoughts floating around in their fishbowl brains when they're not doing their job, which they're somehow also effortlessly good at. This feels like what your drunk Uncle Tyler sees when he tries to imagine what women actually think about. This is what he pictures when he wants to be angry at women. This is the r/men writing women final boss. Number 2, there is discussion to be had about aging and beauty standards, especially with how it relates to the struggles women face with expectations that society has forced upon them, but this show is not doing that with this conversation. I'm sorry, All's Fair, you are just simply not that girl. If I want to be super charitable to Ryan Murphy, I could say that he's already done a better job of exploring aging in American Horror Story Coven with Fiona Good's storyline, as she slowly feels the effects of aging as someone younger than her slowly consumes her power, taking her place, all as she desperately tries to find find a way to stave off the loss of her youth with extreme measures, such as murder and freeing an immortal, violent racist. I didn't say it was a good example, I said it was a charitable example. You're welcome. Back on topic, the casual misogyny and unrealistic depictions of women aren't why the show's bad. That's just the white sticky glaze on the donut of why the show is bad. Though, despite that, All's Fair also hates men. It thinks you should be ashamed of your tiny penises.
World over there.
Briggs near my vajayjay.
Sorry, Cassie.
Body shaming? They're body shaming! And that's just the sprinkles on the donut of why this show is bad. You see, it has no identity. It doesn't understand the difference between its feminist ideals and hating men. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It has the same issue that it accuses Sarah Paulson of having in the opening scene.
You never learn to be human or navigate space between what you want and how much you want it.
In another conversation, Niecy Nash talks about her sons helping her investigate Kim Kardashian's ex.
Aisha got me an AI reverse image search app and Mr. Football Hero's 3 other social media accounts.
Egypt hacked Chase's WhatsApp.
And Ezra monitored Allura's router login.
To find out,
Chase has several burners.
which means we can geo-track his location.
Naomi Watts says in response to their findings,
Are all men complete assholes in the end?
And you asked me why I had my boys with a sperm donor? Hello?
Wait, hold on. Does this not include Niecy Nash's children who are men? She doesn't even make the connection, which is odd, but this show doesn't have a logical framework holding it up. Again, cavity meet hard candy. You know, with the candy being the gender politics the show tries its darndest to tackle. This is the problem with feminism that defines itself by how much it hates men. It's lazy, it exists in broad generalizations, it leads to the same shitty takes that make men full-blooded, hateful misogynists, it maintains men as the center of the universe, and you're also condemning every child that is born into whatever circle of public hell you've already predisposed them to. But you know, at least we're all in this together because All's Fair hates both men and women. Now, the last show I made a video essay on that had that issue was Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. Go watch that after this for a hot, sticky fix, link in the description below. But that show had a hilarious and unhinged level of camp that All's Fair does not, despite its desperate attempts to prove otherwise. It wants you to think it's camp, but it's inauthentically camp. It's an industry plant. It's trying too hard. Again, to be charitable, Ryan Murphy is capable of making good camp like Scream Queens and American Horror Story Coven, but this is not that. Now, since I couldn't stomach watching the full season, you're just going to get the tip of the cockberg, but just so you know, it's a pretty big cockberg, and I don't think you could handle the whole thing. I mean, I couldn't handle the whole thing, and I've been practicing my whole life for this moment. In fact, I'm sure the only way you could handle the whole thing is if you delude yourself into believing you enjoy it, or if pain is the only thing that actually makes you feel the dull throb of being alive. Sorry, this metaphor has gone on for far too long, almost as long as the full-sized cockberg. Part of me wants to believe a lot of the issues I have with the show are a product of bad writing and the cartoon caricatures of high wealth. However, since I'm watching Kim Kardashian play what I can only assume is a biblically accurate Kim Kardashian, part of me is viewing this as a documentary, as a warning to any who might enter the wealthier areas of New York and California. This show has left me with one conclusion.
I hate rich people!
So, now that we have the pesky essay part out of the way, here are 9 arbitrary and random issues that prove All's Fair is philosophically, logically, and emotionally bankrupt. Issue number 1, the K-hole. That title is a ketamine joke, referencing the dark and endless void you can get trapped in while doing ketamine. I know you might think I'm talking about Kim K. Kardashian's butthole, but I'm definitely not, at least not yet. Can someone please tell me what the fuck Kim Kardashian has on Ryan Murphy? Why does society keep trying to push Kim Kardashian and Jared Leto on me? Though I will say, thankfully, they're never in anything I actually want to watch. Honestly, they're usually an indicator of what to avoid. You might be like, oh, hey, why do you hate Kim Kardashian so much? Why do you not want Kim Kardashian in your programs? Because Kim Kardashian sucks the air out of every room she's in like a hull breach in outer space.
Midlife crisis. Sounds like it.
Come on, Laura, I'm drowning here with you.
What are you talking about? You're famous. You have 3 Super Bowl rings. What's going on with you? I feel like you're not telling me the whole story.
What's really going on? I want a divorce.
You want a divorce. What are you talking about?
Ventriloquist dummies have more expression and emotion than Kim Kardashian. That's not a hyperbolic joke. That's a hyper-grounded reality. I honestly don't even scrutinize acting to this degree. For the most part, I appreciate good acting, but accept bad acting when necessary. There are a lot of reasons why someone might not perform as well as one might want. Maybe they were miscast. Maybe it's their first role. Maybe the director is doing a bad job of directing them. Maybe the script is bad, dragging the actor down into the bottomless lake of failure like a concrete block tied to the ankle of a murder victim. But when it comes to Kim Kardashian, there really is no excuse. She is endlessly rich. She'll never be poor, no matter how much money she spends. She's always been rich. She's been alive for quite a while now, all this time and money, and she couldn't be bothered to take some fucking acting classes? She is the living embodiment of the phrase, "Go girl, give us nothing." I mean, Tiana Taylor grew up with way more money than I'll ever have, but you can see that she actually puts forth effort in her performance. I will likely always be poor, but even in these budget YouTube videos I make, I offer more inflection in a single word than Kim Kardashian does in an entire episode. What is her excuse here? This is what failing upwards looks like, America. Once you're rich enough, there is no failure. You just get handed things working alongside industry titans. You're going to get whatever you want because you're society's spoiled little drooling baby. Further, Your Honor, I'm concerned that Kim Kardashian's department store mannequin delivery is making me dislike the other people in the show, like an infected limb spreading its illness to the rest of the body. Are they matching her energy because they're her close proximity friends in the show? Are they dumbing themselves down because they don't want to embarrass her? What the fuck is this phenomenon? Glenn Close, Naomi Watts, Niecy Nash, you people are award-winning actresses. What the fuck are you doing here? You know, fuck whatever Kim K. Kardashian has on Ryan Murphy. What the fuck does Ryan Murphy have on you? Are you three on the Epstein list? If you have it, Ryan, release it, Ryan. Okay, I mean, I guess I'm being dramatic. Maybe this is just what we're doing now, because the last thing I saw Glenn Close in was...
I can smell your nappy pussy.
Feminism!
Issue number 2, The K-Hole Part 2, aka Sisterhood of the Traveling Panties. This time, I am talking about Kim Kardashian's butthole. Now, I'm not saying this outfit isn't cute. This isn't a judgment on aesthetics. This is a judgment on choices. Girl, what the fuck is this? At the office? This is sexual harassment, ma'am. If a man came in with his wiener out, it's a problem, but your butthole stinking up the break room? That's copacetic? Where I eat my Hot Pockets? What the fuck is that? This would be okay in the heightened reality of an anime, but not in a show about lawyers and supposedly deep emotional trauma. Not in a show that pretends to take itself seriously.
They don't care. They don't take divorce law or women seriously.
What is the judge gonna say when you walk in? What in the hell is that in this here courtroom?
That's my butthole. It's my little butthole.
Now listen here, you can't have your little butthole in a court of law wiggling around like a coiled up, slimy little worm on a hook. What are you trying to catch in my court?
Guilty.
That don't make no sense. This here is not a criminal trial. Only thing you're guilty of is giving your client pink eye. Listen, I'm trying to be gentle with you, unlike how rough you were with that little G-string of yours.
I plead the fifth.
Are you just saying random law terms, ma'am?
I object on the grounds that I don't have a license to practice law.
I guess this trial is one big joke to you. This trial is farcical.
You're a farcical.
Did you just fart out cigarette smoke in my court? Is your butthole smoking my goddamn Newports? Okay, I accept that I'm wrong for that, but I'm not apologizing until Ryan Murphy and Kim Kardashian apologize first, in writing and on video. Issue number 3, Wish Upon a Celebrity. Wish fulfillment is so thoroughly coded into the show's DNA that even the drama revolves around how hard it is to be so rich and pretty and perfect and smart and brave and cool and rich and hot and sexy. Kim Kardashian's husband even leaves her because she makes him feel inadequate. She's too perfect and smart and hot and rich. Here is some polygrip because you bitches need to get several. Let that joke sink in. Issue number 4, Low Self-Esteem. Kim Kardashian blames her marriage to a man who wasn't good enough for her on low self-esteem.
I settled all because of what, low self-esteem? Did I not love myself enough?
Did I not love myself enough, she asks. Now, this is in spite of her delivering several monologues about how fucking rich and amazing she is and other people doing the same as referenced in my previous issue. I understand and begrudgingly accept that rich people can have low self-esteem, just look at Elon Musk, but this is not an examination of that. Where is the low self-esteem, Kim? Is it speaking to you now? Issue number 5, question and answer. After Kim Kardashian realizes that Tiana Taylor has been fucking her man, she asks Tiana Taylor to pretend to be her and ask questions until she gets to the center of her fucking Kim Kardashian's man, which leads to this very peculiar escalation. And I can't linguistically do it justice in a critical sense, but here it is.
What's at the center of it? Ask the question.
Question? Is it his? The answer is yes. It is.
So sorry.
Issue number 6, this show hates poor people. Kim Kardashian even makes it a point to let us know that she lives in a way that even other rich people don't. Other rich people are poor to her. Even having aspirations to attain her position is just something that only a poor person would be sold.
That experience is not custom tailored, it's mass produced. One size fits all, sold to dozens of naive women apparently.
Further,
Are you calling me an ugly duckling? So what if I give myself home perms? It's economical. Fuck you.
and they also paint her as someone who eats the other employees' food like a little rat. When Kim Kardashian's husband tries to divorce her, she emphasizes
Okay, I understand what's going on here. I get it. What you're saying is that my big life is just too rich for that little Philly kid.
Further, they have a discussion about one of Kim Kardashian's exes where they call him musky and unwashed.
When you first introduced us to Chase, I said, okay, he's cute. You know what I mean? Stunning face, nice ass, but not that smart. Didn't have a lot of money. Could be a little bit of a gold digger. Face it, you like rough trade.
That last guy, he was just a little sketchy, just a little musky and slightly unwashed. You know, guys that start out working at gas stations end up as models.
So a hardworking man having a job is a problem now? Fuck off. If you have a job in this economy, man or woman, and you're doing what you can, don't let these Frankensteins make you feel any lesser for it. This show hates the economical, which is its general audience. This show hates men with jobs unless it's a pre-approved job, like star quarterback. This show hates people who think critically. This show hates men. This show hates women. This show hates you. Is this a psyop? Is this socialist propaganda? I mean, I'm sold. Eat the rich, oil them up with a maple butter rub, and slow cook them until they reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. We are eating good tonight. Issue number 7. The way this show views cheating is kind of curious. Glenn Close cheats on her tumor-ridden terminal husband because he isn't fucking her enough. The reason he isn't fucking her enough? The cancer doesn't make him feel sexy, which is so fucked. The group of friends say it's not cheating because she doesn't actually fuck the man she cheats with. She just goes back to his hotel room with the intention of fucking him, then makes out with him a little. And I need you to know that this is perfectly acceptable to our merry little band of pirates. They even tried to convince Glenn Close that she does not need to tell her husband. If you subscribe to the idea of monogamy, I need you to imagine that this is your significant other. Is this cheating to you? Is this a violation? I'll let you decide. Further, 2 of the cases they take on in the first 2 episodes are cases where the woman cheated on the man. And yes, I'm sure on some level you can argue that these women have their reasons, but this is demonstrating a pattern of philosophy within this show that is making the Red Pill podcasts make a little too much sense for my liking. But luckily, I live in reality. Relationships are complicated and cheating is bad no matter what you have sweating between those pretty little legs of yours. Issue number 8, Blackmail. Now to emphasize, one of their clients cheats on her husband with another woman, but because a woman is the one doing the cheating, once again, it's reasoned by the show that this is okay. He locked her away from the world, stole her life with all his money, robbed her of her dreams by making her rich, I guess. At this point in the timeline, I wish this man would would rob me of my dreams. Not only is it okay that she cheated, but they further reason that the woman is owed money. I'm not gonna bother disputing that fact. The man can definitely afford it. This part is beyond the purview of my concern. However, in their journey to get the money, the lawyers cut a deal with the man's dominatrix in order to sexually blackmail him. She says he's kind of different, by the way. He's quote unquote into some aberrant shit, but it's really just butt plugs and having his piggy titties sucked. Anyway, they procure compromising photos of him from the dominatrix and show these things off to him and his attorneys, threatening to spread the images if he does not give his ex-wife money. Number one, this is not cute. This is definitely a crime. They have not given me enough context to ever be on their side for something this fucked up. Number two, this is blackmail. These lawyers are risking not only prison, but losing their licenses to practice law, the very thing that made them rich in the first place. I can't imagine all of these women being as intelligent as the show wants us to believe they are doing this, especially not in an actual fucking office. This wasn't even done in private. This was done in broad fucking daylight. Number three, if I hypothetically accept that, then I would also have to accept that the dominatrix also exposed her client and gave them the photos of the man. If this comes out, she is also looking at prison time and the loss of her career. These characters are too smart to be making the choices these writers are forcing them to make. Number four, beyond the ethics of blackmail, this is a severe sexual crime happening here, and I'm pretty sure a felony. The choices they're making are truly unconscionable. Number five, looking at the logic further, if someone was this into being debased and humiliated, they would be jizzing with excitement at the idea of the greater public finding out. What could be hotter than being humiliated and exposed by sexy women showing you off in your most compromised positions, your piggy tits out, power bottoming the Tower of Babel? Frankly, the fact that he's not jizzing about the prospect shows that these characters are just vague, foggy hallucinations. Okay, number six, let's pretend he doesn't want public humiliation. He is in such a position of power here, a position of power this law firm gave him. He could ruin every last one of their lives due to this threat, but he doesn't? Go ahead and show my titties off, but I'm gonna take your fucking license and I'm gonna take your little law firm. I wouldn't stop until I had everything, until we were all publicly humiliated. There's no way these characters would have taken such a stupid fucking risk. Number seven, of course they just main character their way out of this and the man just acquiesces. That's it. End of the plot. Monster of the week. Monster of the week. What, we're doing lists within lists now? This has gone too far. Last issue. Okay, let's not even get into the fact that the show wants to present as woke feminism, but in the opening scene, they treat Sarah Paulson, a fellow woman, like a sewer rat with super syphilis. She wants to join the all-female law firm they're forming, but they say no. They're only allowed to take one person for some arbitrary reason that Glenn Close made up to cause drama in her own head, and they choose Niecy Nash. I'm gonna stand pretty firm in my belief that they could have taken both of them, but they just didn't want Sarah Paulson. They make the choice to leave her behind despite the fact that she has taken on the most cases and she has the most billable hours. This is all for a bunch of stupid fucking reasons, like they don't like the fact that she uses at-home perms. They also accuse her of eating their lunches, which I don't fucking believe. Anyone this rich is not bringing their food to work in some fucking Tupperware. Miss me with that shit. Propaganda lies. Further, okay, just because someone gives themselves at-home perms, it does not make them a thief. I bet Kim K. Kardashian would steal someone's lunch just for the thrill, just because the dull throb of power would make her feel alive. Not that you would be able to tell considering her range of expressions.
I want a divorce.
You want a divorce. What are you talking about?
Glenn Close tells Sarah Paulson that getting angry is easy. Figuring out who you want to be and how to be it is the work to do if you want to be chosen. But isn't that what Kim Kardashian and Naomi Watts just did 2 minutes prior to this conversation? They got angry.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that just happened.
Okay, calm down.
Did you hear what that arsehole said? Children should be seen and not heard. He meant us. Who the fuck does he think he is?
Senior managing partner?
No sense of internal logic. We're just out here saying shit. Any shit. Words are free and all's fair proves it. How fucking dare you tell Sarah Paulson she needs to figure out who she wants to be? Sarah Paulson has the biggest personality out of all of these characters. You want me to believe that Kim Kardashian's wooden Pinocchio puppet without a soul type personality is a person who has figured out who they want to be? And who is that? A Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic without the charisma? Further, Kim Kardashian and Naomi Watts decline Sarah Paulson's pleas by telling her she never learned to be human. You have Kim Kardashian with the acting range of drywall, and Sarah Paulson is the one who isn't human. Okay, sure. This show keeps pissing in my mouth and telling me it's Coca-fucking-Cola, but it's not though. It's pee. It's fucking pee. Kim Kardashian and Naomi Watts further declined Sarah Paulson's pleas by telling her
You never learn to be human or navigate space between what you want and how much you want it.
it's getting late, so I'm not even going to take the time to parse whatever the fuck that pseudo-psychoanalysis nonsense word vomit means. Fuck the both of them for that. I don't have the time. However, Sarah Paulson IRL is kind of so good at her job that she can elevate trash with her acting. She's like a sculptor making art out of garbage.
You know what this is? It's you.
Probably also helps that she works oppositionally to Kim Kardashian and her cohorts. She doesn't have to dumb down her acting. She gets the best lines because she's constantly roasting the other characters, and as a result, she's consistently funny. Her hatred for her contemporaries matches my energy for how much I hate her contemporaries. It feels like the show is desperate to paint her as the big bad villain, but if they find a way to salvage this show, it would be making her character the hero and holding up a mirror to the other four women who exist in a narrative where their worst crime is low self-esteem.
Did I not love myself enough?
It's also important to note, this isn't the personality Sarah Paulson started with. This is the personality she found in the subsequent 10 years following absolute and unforgivable betrayal. She's the real hero here. I can't see it any other way. Also, I need you to know I've never been so happy to see a Rotten Tomatoes score agree with me in my entire life. It was the relief that comes with walking barefoot on hot pavement, then stepping into cold, wet grass. Now I'm excited to watch other video essays on the subject, probably with titles like, Why criticizing All's Fair is misogynist, actually, or
Why All's Fair is camp and serving can't, actually.
That was technically the end, but you've made it this far. You deserve a little something extra, a little more sauce on your bourbon chicken, a free shake, a pre-Trump Chipotle when it was still good and you didn't have to fight for a portion like Oliver fucking Twist. So here's a small, unstructured, unhinged, obnoxious rant to close things out. You know, with my observational skills and snappy titles like this, I could be the woke mob, SJW, leftist, liberal, progressive final boss. I don't think you all understand yet. I could be so annoying. I'm taking it easy. You're lucky I believe in at least some level of nuance, which is probably why I'll never be the most popular content creator, but if I ever decide to take off my limiters and be a little more disingenuous, you people are fucked. Special technique, limiter reduction, 10%. It's time I activate my moral superiority and over-analysis trap cards. We don't even need to talk about the way the trans character is sensationalized and portrayed because of course she was a hooker, which isn't something I look down on, but All's Fair certainly does. And of course she fucked Kim Kardashian and Tiana Taylor's man. And of course that's the breaking point that makes Kim Kardashian and Tiana Taylor go to a clinic and get tested. And that's despite the fact that their man is out here fucking everybody. Even I fucked their man. We all know what his DNA tastes like. Now, we don't need to talk about that, but we do need to talk about racism. You mean to tell me you have two black women in your show, one of them rich, the other assumedly well off, and you still found a way to make them both single mothers? Both of them? Okay, limiters back on before things spiral out of control. So, one of the other issues with the show, which I already talked about with Pretty Little Liars' Original Sin, is that when you disingenuously write female characters to power fantasy their way through the story versus all of their male counterparts, and you treat everything with the gravity of a snow pea, the serious subjects in the story become silly moments of supposedly titillating sensationalism. Everything becomes a joke. Even the darker, more sensitive things, the writers probably don't intend to be jokes. Go watch this essay if you want more on that subject, link in the description below. You know, the more I watch this show, the more I worry that Kim Kardashian is so bad at acting, she actually takes this series that's meant to be industrial factory camp byproduct into actual organic pesticide-free camp. Art imitates life, life imitates art, lies are truth and truth are lies. Someone needs to give me an X. I'm not sure where I stand anymore. Oh God, I guess this means I have to watch the whole thing now? It's my duty as a working member of the press. It's okay, I'm not betraying you. Much like a Republican politician having sex with his wife, I'm sure I'll hate it while I'm doing it. You know, it would end up being a crazy plot twist if I end up being the person who writes the essay Why All's Fair is Camp and Serving Cunt, actually. You know, all things considered, considered, I bet a show that follows the HR department at the All's Fair law firm would be a much better show in general. Make that show, Ryan Murphy. Make that show. At the end of the day, Ryan Murphy put in as much work with his writing as Kim Kardashian did with her acting. All's fair, people. All is fair.
Love and war. You chose war, and we won it.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for taking this journey with me. Hit all the buttons to help out the video. Never undercome, only overcome. Shoot high and expect to miss. Have a good night.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. Do it. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Do it. So good.
Well, it's time. I'm subscribing.
Excellent.